G'day mate and welcome back to Capital Industry with me, JD. Over the last couple of episodes we've been dealing with waste, and today I want to leave the waste behind. I want to put that to one side now that it should be sorted, and I want to deal with a few new projects. I want to deal with a little bit of trucks, a little bit of trains, and I also want to deal with the most useless item in the game. Yep, I want to deal with that as well. But if you want to know what the most useless item in the game is and how I finally found a good use for it, then I'd like to ask, can I borrow a like? I just like to borrow a like. I like to borrow a like early in the video. Not happy the video, didn't enjoy the video. Well, you can just keep using the most useless item in the game in the most useless way. First thing I need to do today is I want to upgrade this house. I also want to, well, unpause those 8 houses there, which means I have room for 2,000 people, which is great because we're going to tell the people to have many, many babies because I want to have 2 new office blocks up and running. So can I get both of those built? All right, whilst we wait for the office blocks to get built and the people to repopulate, also I need to make sure, yeah, they are set to priority number 15 because I want those to shut down over everything else. Can I also do that? That, and that, please. That way we have room in there so you can drop off your limestone. Cool. Whilst we wait for those things to happen, I want to solve a few problems. So first off, I have these areas where trucks can't get to destinations. They cannot get to this bucket here. They can't get to this bucket here to drop off potatoes or this bucket to drop off soybeans because I only have a 4-tile gap. 4-tile gap in here, which is big enough for a little truck, but not big enough for a big truck. And the reason they're trying to get in here is not because I have potatoes in the shipyard, it's because my farms can't output. Some of these farms are blocked up with materials that they can't get rid of. So first thing I need to do is I need to either run another belt down from here or we need to, well, do some upgrades. So we're just gonna upgrade the belt to the next here and get you done, you done, you done, you done, and you done, and then spend a little bit of uni. I didn't do that line. Cool, can I get those done? And that should get us now having the ability to move 450 plus 200 plus 200, being a total of 850 food down to the Great Food Processor. Now, the Great Food Processor has those 3 belts coming in, moving a total of 850 materials, but I only have 3 belts in here. 3 belts in here at a speed of 200, which means I need to do some upgrades. So I need to have that upgraded and, well, that one built and that one built. And then I need to have another whole line all the way down the food processor built. I could just upgrade a belt to the next here, but honestly, I think I'm better off having another belt built all the way down. Cool. With that done, that should let us have another belt built all the way down, which means now I can put in 200, 400, 600, 800 total material. In theory, I'm pushing 850 in, but I honestly doubt this belt is going to be 100% full at all times. So that should keep food processor processing, which is what makes me happy. And that should make sure that everything keeps running here. All right, next thing I want to do is I want to set up these mines over here. I want to set up the backup mines so we're ready to go. Can I have you built, which is our coal mine? That's 82 uni. I have some uni, so that should be fine. Can I also get your train station built? And can I go the bauxite one? I want to get the bauxite one done as well. I don't need its train station yet because I'm not processing bauxite, but I want to have at least the sort of done because I want to have mining crews out here. I want to have mining crews here, not so much to mine the actual coal or the bauxite. I really want them to prep the ground. I want them just to start cleaning up around the edges and making things a little bit neater and a little bit tidier for us. So when we actually get to mining out here, they've removed some of the crap that we don't need, like all of that. Yeah, and actually go nuts. Cool. A little bit back here as well. Yeah, a little bit more. All right, so to do that, I need to get some diggy boys. So we're going to go to the sand mine. The sand mine, because they happen to have 10 excavators and, well, 9 trucks. 9 trucks is plenty, but 10 excavators is way too many. I've already stolen some trucks from here. I'm going to bring this down to 6. 6 is reasonable. And I also want to go to the coal mine. And I want to bring you from 9 diggy boys down to 8, 7, 6. Can I go to 6? Can I also steal one of your trucks? That's 6 and 12. Can I steal another truck? Thank you. And can I steal one more truck? I need to have somebody who is blue, highlighted blue, but doesn't have any coal currently. You, cool. Can I have you as well? All right, so that brings us down to 6 and 10. All right, so the new Coal mine, I want to have 2 diggy boys and 3 trucks. It's the bare basics. Also goes the same for the bauxite mine. I want to have 2 diggy boys, 3 trucks, the bare minimum. I just want them to start working. All right. Also want to go to the clearing crew, who has had most of the excavators removed, and throw the rest of the excavators on there. I want to have them over there working. All right. So with those plans done, next thing I want to do is I want to pop into here. In here, we have our little stacker. And what I want to do is I want to double up our stacker, because I've already had situations where just having 2 trains being parked here was not enough to keep up with throughput. With us having only 2 trains on the way, due to the limited size of our stacker, I'd have multiple times when there were just no trains available here to unload, and I have a break in the line. That's not what I want. So what I want to do is I've moved the pipes around to the north, which means we have a little bit of room, which means I can put you here, and then I can come to this end and hopefully find a tile where I can get a train track out. Not that tile. That tile. That's up. Okay, can I have you come out like this? And then can I come from here to here, here, from here to here, here, from here to here, here, there to there to there, and this should double up our stacker. If the stack is twice as big, it means rather having 2 trains per station, I can have 3 trains per station and still have excess room for any station that needs even more than 3 trains on the way. I'm thinking like iron, copper, you know, the really important ones. So can I get that done? And nope, I'm out of uni. Awesome, cool. I really want that back, but I don't want that one there. Cool. Can you go away, please? All right, can I get that built? All right, so with that done, I want to go to each one of these. I want to set train limit, and I want to set you to be 3, please. On to the next one. You already have a train limit of 3. You have a train limit of 3. Our limestone needs a train limit of 3. Our coal, when we actually start shipping in coal, we'll have a train limit of 3. And our future bauxite station will also have a train limit of 3. Okay, so I want to get that done. Also need to do I build the station now and get the trains now? I should build a station now. Okay, can I get you upgraded? Which is one of the things I love about this newest update. Part of this update is I can now upgrade belts whilst they're ghosts. It sort of sucks that they're still in multiple sections, but you know, one problem at a time. And can I get all of that built? Can I also get this station built? And all your belts, please. And you built. Cool. All right, if I can do that, I'm going to pop over here and I'm going to get... Well, this one's already built. Well, that makes life easy. Okay, can I get a train line manager? Okay, can I have you? Can I have you called Cole? Can I have you have a color as black as my heart? Can I have you be Cole as well? Can I have at a stop? I want you to come to here. I want you to be full of products being coal. And then can you come over to the coal unload station? And then after you've gone to the coal unload station, I need you to come back to the coal waiting station. Okay. Can I have you be empty products being coal again? And that should be this train line. Done. Okay. Can I go to unassigned trains? Actually, can I bring that back up? Unassigned trains. All right, so this is the train we built earlier, which is nothing but locos. It is just a whole bunch of locos, which means when I click this button, I now have 50 locos available, which is great because that's exactly what I want. I want to have trains. Copy. Cool. Can I set you to go to the coal line? I want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Yeah, build queue of 5 plus 1 being built. And then can I have a new train? Can I clear this? Can it be one of those? And then a bunch of these. So I have a bunch of hoppers pre-built. Can I have you... What's their max length? 250 tiles. Okay, can I have that train be built at the end of the queue? That way I have all the hoppers ready to go. So when we start making more trains, we're ready to go, so to speak. All right, fuel. Fuel, there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. I already had a look, and if we look at diesel, and I turn off that. I have no idea what caused this or this. I think it's the recent patch just for some reason deleted 3,000 diesel and then for some reason gave me back 2.8 thousand diesel. No idea. But we can see I'm like right on that 380-ish, and then I found one little thing that I could do, which put me to 378, which is the absolute max that the oil refinery can output. So my solution for right now is we're going to ignore the problem. I did pause the extra hydrogen burn off, which technically means it puts back pressure on the fuel gas, which means technically sometimes it will actually output a little bit more diesel. Just sometimes. Not often, but sometimes it will technically output just a tiny bit more. But that is the maximum throughput of the system. So what we're going to do is we're going to research our way out of the problem, and we're going to be doing that by making sure we get vehicle for fuel usage. Just save 1% at a time. We can throw in some train fuel usage occasionally as well, and we're just going to do this back and forth until fuel is fine. I don't think it's going to take all that long. All right. Next thing I want to do is, now you guys have been upgraded. I have an extra 2,000 focus points, but 2,500 focus points is great. We're about to finish research. It's going to give us a little bit more free focus points, but on top of that, I have this button here. This button here spends an awful lot of computing power, another 192 to give us 150% focus. Well, this one's already spending 48 computing power to give us 120%. There's only an extra 30% on top, but computing power is something that we can get fairly easily by building you the old-fashioned way, because I don't have any damn Unity, and also building 1, 2, 3, 4. How many do I have? I have 4 running, 5 running, 6 running, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So technically I don't need you running. I would like to have you running, and you're going to have to wait a minute. All right, but it means I can do this. And if I put a whole bunch of servers in a whole bunch of racks, whole bunch of servers in these racks in these data centers, that means in theory I can get even more computing power. Even more computing power means that I can definitely turn those on, and I can get even more focus points, which is one of the things I want. So I need to get those done. I really want to have them built. So can I pin that? Hopefully we can build one of them. And can I set you to be urgent? Yeah, if I set you to urgent, if I get 8 Unity, I'll click the button. If I don't get 8 Unity, hopefully the trucks will come over here and deliver some things. Come on, I need to fill you full of service. All right, so I want to get this upgrade. Okay, whilst I wait for that to upgrade, there's a couple of other things I need to do. So now we have the reserve mines up and running. We have trains being, sent to the coal station, which they're fine. I don't really have any coal in here yet. And honestly, they're not really mining coal. They're really skirting the outskirts, just cleaning up the general area, which is really what I want. I really want to have when we decide we want to start mining coal heavy duty, I want to make sure that it's ready to go. But one other thing I do want to do is I want to come to this power plant here. So this power plant has 10 low pressure turbines on the power shaft. Now, 10 low pressure turbines make 6 megawatts worth of mechanical power. 6 megawatts worth of mechanical power multiplied by 10 of them is 60 megawatts worth of mechanical power. A drive shaft can only support 72 megawatts worth of mechanical power, which means I'm technically 12 megawatts short if I just talk about these 10. Unfortunately, on here I happen to have more focus points. I also happen to have, another 48 total with another 6, which is another 12, which is, another like 70-ish megawatts right here. Which is the problem. I have far too much on this drive shaft. So what I want to do is I want to remove this flywheel, and then I want to put you, flip. Yeah. You and output low pressure steam. Low pressure steam we're going to dump into that system. And our high pressure steam we're going to bring in from this pipe just like we were previously. Okay. Can I... Oh, you're done. Okay. Can I have you filled? And then we'll come back to that in a minute. Can I have this built? Okay. So... this has auto balance turned on, which means only when I actually need power on this drive shaft will it consume steam. Okay, also means I don't need that anymore. I also don't need any of these anymore. So we can do a little bit of tidy up. But I do need some sort of drive shaft power, something to take over for when the reactors aren't quite cutting it. So, yeah, just a little bit of demolition. So what I need to do is clear a little bit of area. Can I have you? Can I have 1? Can I have 2? Can I have 3? Can I get them built? Can I have you unbuilt? And then can I have 4? Okay, I want to have just a little bit of power. A little bit of power on this shaft. I need to have a little bit of power on this shaft just at all times. So when the reactors don't quite output enough power, like right now, this guy can kick in. And he's just going to produce a little bit of power. Now, currently, I'm using a whole lot of depleted steam. I'm technically wasting a whole lot of depleted steam because, you know, I'm charging up a power shaft that has nothing on it. And obviously, I don't have any flywheels on here, which is a problem, which we're going to rectify right about now. Oh, okay. There are no flywheels I can copy. Okay, a flywheel and a flywheel. Can I make that pipe go away? Can I have a flywheel and a flywheel and... okay, I have you... No, I can't even uni build that. Poor. Alright, can I deconstruct that one and that one? Cool. And then can I have flywheels? I want a whole drive shaft of many, many flywheels. Because the idea of this, in theory, the way this particular drive shaft is going to work is it's just going to store power. It's going to store an awful lot of power. And then when it actually comes to time for me to draw power off it, i.e. when, you know, we actually need to have power, then I have a whole lot of pre-charged flywheels that we can just pull the power off. Which means I'm technically wasting less of my low pressure steam. We're going to fix that shortly with a little bit of a unique solution. But before I do that, I want to go handle well, a few other things. Okay, we have a low supply of servers. We know about that. I just spent them all. I have a truck that can't reach because you're carrying slag. That's fine. We're only meant to have little skinny trucks drive along the slag belt or the slag line. Slag line. This is only for skinny trucks. Don't pick up the slag if you're a big truck. All right. I also want to go to these guys. Okay, so I've just got myself a crap ton worth of focus points. At least I have after I turn that button on, and that button on. So I have 3,500 that I want to spend. Now, where do I want to spend that? Very good question. Very, very good question. First place I'd like to spend them is on contracts. Because currently I am, if we set you to an A module ship, that's what I'm running, I'm selling, we'll call it selling, 3,750 slag for 1,500 sour water. 1,500 sour water happens to be 2 modules, because each module is 750 of sour water, which means if we go look at my sour water ship, if there's any room on the screen, we can see that you are, well, 5 for slag and then 2 for sour water. But if I was to add 10 points in here, I have a new solution where I'm still selling 3,750, but I'm now bringing back 1,800 sour water. 1,800 sour water means I need an extra module in here carrying sour water, which means my profitability has increased by I get more sour water for the amount of slag I'm trading. There's a couple of other things I want to talk about. The luxury goods is 700 for 5,250. If I dump that in there, it just minimizes the amount of vehicle parts I'm trading off, which is great. It saves me some vehicle parts, it saves me some steel, great idea. The crude oil one is actually way more interesting because if I come back to the original, it's 818. Now we have to remember that a single module carries 750. If I increase this up, you'll notice my crude oil is now 4950, which is actually more than the 6 modules I have on here. And my food is now 750. 750 means that that's now 1 module's worth, which means if I change you to, are you now unloading? Yes, you're now unloading. Great. Can I flip you? And can I pause you? Sign a contract. I want to sign this contract. Cool. This is actually 681. The reason it's 681 is because I can only bring back 4,500 crude oil. And I actually swap this food module out for a crude oil module, which means I need to unload the ship of the 600 that it has on here. And the only way that's going to happen is if the ship leaves and then comes back, and then Beowulf comes back with, hopefully, less food in here. You're loading. I want you to unload. How do I force you to unload? I just need to unassign you, I guess. Yeah, I need that much to unload. And you do that by filling that up, and then normally like exporting into a box, but I don't really want to export to a box. So I think my answer is I wait till this is full, which will be one more shipment. Okay, then I pause it, then I assign to a contract, that contract, and then I set you to depart. Excellent. And I guess when it comes back, I need to unassign this one again, so it empties, because I need to empty this box. You are set to you are empty. Okay, so I need you emptying there. I need to pause that belt, which I've done, which means the food packs need to get unloaded from this one into that one, and then in theory I can put in another crude oil module. All right, on top of that, you just left, bugger. Can I get cargo docks? Can I get a fluid module small? Good. Can I build you in there? All right. With that built, we can now see that this is going to do the 1800, which means I need to, well, rearrange this tank so I can have this one hooked into the tank as well, because I built it hard up against it, which is great and convenient and saved me construction parts, but now I have to deconstruct it, rebuild it. All right, so I need to do that. On top of that, I still have a decent amount of focus points left. I want to put 1 point into there. 1 point in there is going to make sure that my trains can now carry back 1,000 time. Also, I'm going to dump the rest in here. 16 points? Sure. And then we're going to dump a few into research efficiency. We're going to do it like that. Yep, I'm going to do it like that. Because I want to try and save a little bit more maintenance, because I have a steel problem. I have a steel problem again. I just don't have nearly enough steel. If we go look at well, this belt here, heading up to our fast rocking chairs and also into our white goods, there's just no steel left. So my solution for right now is we're going to pause a couple of these guys. Obviously, these two by themselves consume a lot of steel. Hopefully that's enough that I can put enough back pressure on the system to put enough steel into there. On top of that, maintenance was right on the border, but with me putting in more focus points into more focus points into maintenance, hopefully that's brought down, well, it's increased the amount of maintenance we can produce, and therefore has saved me putting down more maintenance buildings, which is great for right now. All right, so I need to fix this guy. All right, to fix this guy, we need to do a little bit of trimming. Can I remove that tank? Can I put the tank over here? I'm gonna need it back in about 2 seconds. Can I remove that? Can I remove that? Can I remove you? Can I actually have one of those? Can I put you here? Can I grab a pipe? We're going to go with, I don't know, T3. Great. Can we go there? There, please. And there. Can I remove that? Can I get the tank back? Can we put the tank here? Can I get a small pipe? Actually, the tank can go hard up against it. Can I get a small pipe to go from there to there? And can I flip you? And flip you? And flip you? Yep. Can I get you built? Can I get the balancer put back here? Can I get a small pipe from there to there? Then can I get whatever diameter of the pipe this is to go from here to there? And then can I get whatever diameter of the pipe this is to go from here to here? Great. Can I have that built? Okay. Can I have you be the priority output to go to, not that one, I want to go to the primary oil first. Okay. So that solves that problem. That means we can bring back the extra sour water, and it also means you are empty. So we've emptied this module, great, which means you're full of food packs. Oh, because you pause. Oh, unassigned. Store product needs to be emptied first. Problem is you're putting it in here. Pause. Assign a contract that one. Now if I Okay, I want to change this to 0. What's this 681? Fine, leave. Okay. Unpause. I don't know. We'll find out if... Actually, my plan B is we just remove the damn thing. Yeah. And that way they go to the shipyard. They can go from the shipyard out to special places they need to go, like back into the box, and we just build that. Yep, that'll be my answer. We'll just build that one. I've already left the plumbing there from the copy and paste, so it's already set up, ready to go. Okay. All right, so that's that problem. All right, next, oh, well, it was that problem that I want to click on. All right, household goods, yeah, I just explained that one. Mechanical parts is also a steel problem, but I'm hoping steel fixes itself real fast. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just hoping steel fixes itself. I don't really want to turn on an extra one of these guys because I'm a little bit worried about... medical. Okay, you're taking steel to medical. All right, I'm a little bit worried about not having enough steel outright. All right, so next thing I want to talk about is the grand food processor. Grand food processor. So I now have 2 alerts here that's saying high supply of animal feed. I now have 2 of them, which means both the front and the back are full, which means the grand food processor that does many food processing things just kicks in a new system. The new system is this belt here, which means that when the bucket is full, it actually takes the excess animal feed, pushes it out here, which then joins onto the belt with the biomass, which then comes down and into this belt here, which then head over to these boilers. These boilers, of course, and we're going to burn off the excess animal feed plus the biomass that we're already burning, and that produces us extra steam. Extra steam produces us extra clean water, at the same time produces extra brine, extra salt, and all those things. So I do need to build an extra 2 boilers to make sure we can burn off the animal feed fast enough to make sure the system doesn't back up. But yes, the grand food processor does another grand food processor thing, automagic, with just the ability of good planning on good blueprints. All right, so the fuel problem, like I said, I can ignore it. There is nothing I can really do. We're just going to research our way out of the problem by getting less fuel usage over time. All right, can I go to you? Okay, you have slag, which just, I need to delete that until that problem goes away. And actually, I just need more dirt. Yeah, I need to have more dirt. I have more dirt on this side, honestly, and more rock. Can I have you edit area? Can I slide that over to there? Oops. That tile, please, and over to that tile, and then can I go to the dirt tower, which is here. Edit area. Can I have that go to there, and that go to there, and then can I have a 4 right through there? I'm going to cancel this because you guys are just throwing buckets of dirt into a giant hole and it's getting nowhere. All right, so household goods, mechanical parts, concrete slabs, animal feed, and water resources. Okay, stop it. Can I click on this? Thank you. All right, water resources. What I want to do is I want to have the water run out just as the ideal amount. So I want to make sure that these, they run out of water to pump at the end of summer. So it's just turned to sunlight. So prior to that we had rain, it was already out of water, which means I'm pumping out of it too fast. It doesn't have enough chance to fill up. So what I want to do is, first off, I don't want this many alerts, so we're going to cut that back. And then for this system, I'm going to delete one of these guys. One of these guys means I'm definitely pumping out too much water. So I'm going to cut it back by 1, and I want to make sure that when it's raining, obviously it refills a little bit, and then just before it hits sunny time again, because the weather always comes in seasons, and eventually we get to a dry spell and a sunny spell. When that happens, we just run out of water at the last minute. Not sitting there for like 20 minutes, me wasting both manpower, maintenance, and power on pumps that are doing absolutely nothing. Well, technically I'm not really wasting all of that. I'm definitely wasting the people, and I'm definitely wasting the maintenance if they're doing nothing. But yeah, I just want to cut these back one by one till we have the exact amount. Okay, so the fuel problem, like I said, I just have to ignore. It will go away in time as we either research more or become a little bit more optimized with our fuel usage, which we can worry about later. Can I get you to go away? Yeah, you, and you. Okay, all right. So back to the base. All right, I want to talk about this drive shaft. So this drive shaft, obviously, we have a whole bunch of low pressure turbines. Low pressure turbines that are taking in our low pressure steam. They're converting that into depleted steam, which is important because I need to have that depleted steam to make sure we have the brine bucket full, also the chlorine bucket full, and I also need to well, hopefully turn that into mechanical power that then I can use. Now, if I set this to 1, so I'm actually using this power, that's fine, except I'm going to slowly drain the amount of power out of here. Eventually, we're going to get to an equilibrium where, in theory, I'm burning enough depleted steam to make up for the power that this guy's using, but this is designed to be my backup generator. My backup generator that needs to kick in when the nuclear plants are busy. So I don't really want to be pulling power off it all the time. By the same token, I'd like to turn on auto balance, so that way I'm saving the steam. The problem with turning on auto balance to save the steam is then the steam backs up the system. If the steam backs up the system, then this is going to stop my exhaust scrubbing working. It's also going to stop all my arc furnaces from running. So I need to come up with a way where I'd like to save the steam if I don't need to use the steam, but then also use the steam if I have too much steam. And you wouldn't believe there is actually a building that does that. There is this wonderful building called a thermal storage, which stores thermal power. Who would have thunk it? Now, this building has had a problem for a very long time. It's had a number of problems for a very long time. It has been the most useless building in the game, but I've found a solution. I've found a couple of solutions. So, first off, this never had an alert for being full or empty, which means if I put this in a system, I'm producing intermittent steam every now and then. A perfect example would be the food build. The food build sometimes produces steam, if we're burning excess, but also sometimes doesn't produce steam if we're not burning excess. Having a thermal storage on here with hey, tell me if you're full, would be really helpful. That way, maybe I wouldn't overbuild, quite so many desalinators, because let's be honest, they're probably not all running all the time. Each one of these guys represents, every 4 of these guys represents 1 boiler. So in theory, I have 6 of them. So that's 1 boiler, 2 boiler, 3 boiler, 4 boiler. I only have enough capacity here to run 4 boilers at the same time. But you're idle. You're idle because I don't have enough steam right this second. This one has the priority on the balancer, so this one's more likely to be running. So maybe I only need to have enough capacity to burn, maybe I only need enough capacity to run just 2 of them, not 4 of them. But I don't know. And having a thermal storage up here, which finally got the option, if I set this correctly, to have a notify me if full, was a great way of indicating, hey, I possibly need to add a little bit more steam disposal on the end of this system. We always had the notification if empty, because the devs only ever envisaged it as you'd attach this to your nuclear reactor, and then you'd have some sort of warning if your nuclear reactor stopped working. The other big problem it had, and it's easier to see on low pressure steam, is you had what used to be a 30% loss. So if you wanted heat out of the system, you take 6,000 heat in, but when you put heat into the system, it wouldn't be 5,400, it would be 6,000 multiplied by 0.7. You'd only get 4,200 heat in. So you'd end up having to put an awful lot of heat into the system to get heat out of the system. It was incredibly, incredibly wasteful. Why were you just exhausted? Oh, actual exhaust. Oh. See, again, this is how I'd have to do things. I'd have to have a chimney on here that had high pressure steam, and then see it exhaust occasionally and go, oh, I need to, add some sort of way to burn off the steam faster because this never had a notify me if full button. It now has a notify me if full button, but The biggest problem this still has is if I get a box, anything else in the storage capacity, like a fluid tank, I have these sliders. I don't have these sliders on here. This just puts heat in and then takes heat out. It's just like a flow through storage. It's just a little bit of a buffer. These ones I can at least control, only output if it's above this, and only receive if it's below this. So I have more options when it comes to any other storage except the thermal storage. Ideally, what you would want to do with the thermal storage, because of the, let's go back to the power plant, because of the loss in efficiency, as you can see, I have horrible efficiency because we keep missing inputs. Because of the loss of efficiency, you really want to have the steam activate and then just keep running non-stop until you run out of steam. Like the tank is fully empty. You really want it to you don't really want it to buffer temporarily your steam. What you really want to do is you want to store it up and wait till it's just about full, and then release all the steam continuously to make sure the system runs at peak efficiency. So that's exactly what I'd like to do with one of these guys. The problem is there's no way to do that. There's no way for me to build a balance and say, okay, we're going to plug the steam into here, and then we're going to plug the steam out of here, and then once you're full, only once you're full, do you then start outputting. You need to have a valve for that. We don't have a valve. If we go into transports, we're going to fluid, we have pipes, we have balances, we have connectors, we have smokestacks, we have dumps. None of those are a valve. So what I had to do is I had to go make myself a valve, and that's exactly what I've done. I have gone and spent the time and and spent the effort to turn the, where are we? Steam storage, one of them, to which way's in? I want you to go. Cool. Yeah, I know. You can go here, please. Just click. Cool. I have turned an awful lot of balances. In fact, let's build the whole lot. An awful lot of balances into a valve. Okay, it took a little bit of clicking and changing and doing things and working out exactly how they're going to work in order. But what I have here is a valve, which means what I want to do is I want to have the water. Can I grab water from here and just dump it onto this pipe, please? Just so that's done. Can I build that? Can I build that? What I want to do is I want to come to here. Actually, I want to do a few things. All right, I want to come to here. I want to set you to auto balance. I want to copy that setting all the way through to all your friends. Great. You are the only one who's going to run at all times. This is important because I want to demonstrate two things. First off, I want to make sure this drive shaft is fully charged at all times. Because these are all set to auto balance now, they're all going to turn off. They're not going to run, they're going to fill up with steam, and then they're going to sit there idle, waiting for their chance to do something, which means this guy's going to run full speed. He is going to be taking in low pressure steam as fast as he can, and he's going to be dumping on the shaft. He can't dump it on the shaft any better because the shaft is fully charged. Okay, it's like trying to spin a car tire. He can only spin it so fast. Doesn't matter how many RPMs he puts into it. He can only spin it so fast until it's running at the maximum speed he can try and put power into the system, which he's done. It's now fully running. He's getting an efficiency of 20%, which is not a lot. Throughput of 2%, because that's all the power he can put in the system. So what I'd like him to do is I'd like him to keep this fully charged at all times. So when I need the power, it's fully charged. Everything else is set to auto balance, which means if for some reason I need to suddenly start pulling power off the system, I can start pulling power off the system and it's still gonna be fully charged. But I don't want him wasting 48 steam. To do so, I'd like him if he was wasting 24 steam, so we're gonna downgrade him. I also have a feeling I'm about to see a bug where the power in the shaft halves because I downgraded one machine. It did, cool. Which then demonstrates that, actually it's not going to demonstrate because we didn't pull enough power off the shaft, but it does mean that you can keep putting power on the shaft for a very long time. You're going to be efficiency of 100%, you're going to burn my 24 steam, which you were doing previously, but rather than having a throughput of 1.2 megawatts, which was like nothing, you can now do the full 3 megawatts, which is all you're able to do at this time. Then, I want to take my excess steam, because at the moment this whole pipe is full of steam, this is full of steam, this is filling up with steam, which means my furnaces are about to turn off, and I want to plug that into my in. So can I plug you into you? Sure. All right, can I get you built? Also means that every single one of these pipes needs to be a pipe 3 because I'm going to have that a much... No, actually they need to be pipe 4. Yeah, everybody needs to be pipe 4. Can I upgrade you, and you? Okay, can I get all of that done? Okay. All right. So I can now push the max amount of depleted steam into here as possible, which is potentially 480 depleted steam. We already knew that. Well, 480 depleted steam minus 24, which is still an awful lot of steam. So we're going to dump all of that into here. And as you can see, this is going to keep just storing up with more and more heat over time. Now, a couple of things I do want to explain very quickly is when we put steam into this system, we only capture 5,400 heat. We do get 600 water out, which means then when we're processing this back and turning that water back, when we want to remove the heat from the system, we need to add water back in the system, being 600 water. We're also going to remove 600 heat when we do that and get 600 steam, low pressure steam. I would love it if this had some sort of like, I can put in low pressure steam and get out high pressure steam. Sure, you know, I put in a crap ton of low pressure steam because that only gives me 5,400 heat, and then it cost me 1,200 heat to get that back out. Or a better example would be if I could put in, oh, you can't put depleted steam into this. No, but like I could get out superheated steam, but it just, I consume a lot of heat inside the tank to get that higher quality steam out. That gives me more options. But anyway, for right now, what we have is we have a system where it's going to dump the steam into here. It's also going to dump the water in the tank. Eventually, because of this 10% loss, means that you eventually have a 10% gain on the amount of water that comes out of the system, that goes back into the system. So we store all the water here. Eventually, very much eventually, this will overflow, and then we'll take the excess water and dump it into this water pipe. Also means eventually this is going to overflow. This is going to have too much steam in it, at which point I need to dump that steam and I need to do something with it. First thing I like to do is I like to make sure this drive shaft is running at full speed. That's very, very important. I want to make sure that if I happen to need the steam off this, if you're outputting, I want to make sure that the steam has an opportunity to go here first. It also means I'm about to make a loop. I realize I'm about to make a loop. I'm going to prioritize my loop so I don't make too much of a loop, but it is going to be a loop. And I'm going to prioritize that pipe being the existing steam in to keep being to be the priority. Then I'm going to grab a new pipe and we're going to bring this through to here and put you here on the ground. Let's go with that tile. Looks good to me. And then can I get a pipe balancer here? And this is my output. Can I bring my output in here? Okay. Flip that. So I want this to be the priority out. Okay. So when we start exporting steam, I want it to go back into this system, which means it's going to end up coming straight back in the storage tank. Possibly. That's perfectly fine. I don't really care. Can I deal with that really quickly? Cool. Can I... You're running. Great. So it's just a matter of turning on that guy. And technically upgrading that pipe to a next tier pipe because you output 72 each. And 3 lots of 72 is 210, and that was 200 pipe. Great. So can we come back to this? All right. So we're going to store the steam. Okay, eventually when it discharges, it's going to discharge primarily into this pipe to make sure this drive shaft runs at full speed. But I still need to remove the excess steam. So what I want to do is I want to grab 3 of these guys, and preferably with your balancers. Well, actually, I just want to grab 6 of you guys with your balancers. Thank you. Can I put you... There's a belt over the top. Belt over the top I don't need. And I'll put you there. Oh, can I remove that? Can I have that? Can I flip that? And put that in there. Oh, and then can I have 1? Ooh. Okay, can you be priority number 1? You and you. Alright, so eventually, when this fills up with steam, it's going to discharge back into the system. It's going to loop back into where it is currently, which means I'm still not going to use any of that steam. So I need to have another way for the steam to get out. The other way for that steam to get out is it's going to come out here, and it's going to come over to this totally separate drive shaft, which is not going to have auto balance turn on. But because I'm dumping 30,000 heat divided by 6,000 to get the amount of right, 30,000 divided by 6,000 to work out the amount of heat loss. Yep. Multiplied by 600 to get the amount of low pressure steam. I am going to dump 3,000 low pressure steam. Okay, 3,000 low pressure steam. You guys burn 48 each, so we're going to call that 150. We're going to call that 300, which I'm going to use at a rate of 300. Means I have 10 months. 10 months worth of heat, steam that's going to run through this drive shaft. Yep. So the plan is, for 10 months, I can run this purely off what we have in here and run these at full speed with auto balance turned off. So they're just going to consume every bit of steam that they have available, and they're going to run flat out whilst they have that amount of steam in there. Now, if I'm still adding into the storage as I'm pulling out of the storage, well, the valve special, it has a bypass, I guess you could call it. So if I'm adding more material in as we're pulling material out, it bypasses the storage and just skips straight to the output. So it might not be just, 10 months worth. It could be 5 years worth if I'm adding steam in faster than I'm pulling steam out. But with that done, I want to have you have an alert if you're full. If you're full and you stay full, I actually have a problem. If you're full momentarily, that's perfectly fine. And then I just need you to have just a little bit more steam in you because I want to see this system run. And you are full with a throughput of 1%. That means this drive shaft is fully charged. Yes, I'm wasting 24 low pressure steam on that problem constantly, but that's fine. Okay, come on, there we go. All right, so you are full, which means after you get just a little bit more steam in here to fully pressurize this system, I'm gonna see this pipe kicks in. Can I pin you? And can I pin you? All right, so this pipe's kicked in, which means you're gonna start emptying, which is perfect. We're gonna be running the steam through here. And if I look at this pipe and this pipe, if I have this pipe full of steam, this one's going to run slower. The best way to demonstrate that is pause that for a second and let it fill up behind it, which is that's full, that's filling, great. So if I unpause this one for a second, we're going to see the top pipe stops because the bottom one is the priority. So it's just filling up that system, which also means that this is not losing a lot of steam. But if I unpause that, it now means the steam can flow over here. It's going to run through this drive shaft. This is going to have continuous steam come out at all times. It's going to be at least, well, we're only burning 300 and we have potentially a 600 pipe out. 900 pipe out. So this is going to be continuous amounts of steam coming out, which means you should crank straight into priority number 1 and run flat out. But my nuclear reactor is taking over. So I actually need to go to the nuclear reactors, and you are on priority number 6. You're on priority 5, 5, 1, 1. Okay, so you're on 5. You have a drive shaft. You're on 1. So you don't need to be on 1. We can drop you down to 5 as well. Can I copy that? Put that there. And also put that there. Do you have... No. Okay, can we turn those on? That means if you're producing too much steam, you're going to slow down and burn less fuel, which is going to be important because technically I'm burning fuel faster than what I'm making fuel, and therefore, come on, you are... I might be pushing too much steam through this pipe. Can I downgrade you 1 level? That's 450. 450 should be fine. Yes. Okay. And yeah, I'm just dumping potentially just a little bit more too much steam back into flushing this loop, because this loop technically needs how much? 480. So yeah, I've slowed it down just a little bit, which means this should now have enough in it, which means yes, this is running flat out. We are producing the maximum amount of power available. These guys are now producing the maximum amount of power available, and they're going to do so till this finishes empty, which, like I said, is potentially 10 months worth of power. So yes, I've made a valve. I'm not going to even try and talk through how this pile of balances ends up becoming a valve. What I am going to do is I'm going to say, if you're interested in the blueprint, you want to turn the most useless item in the game into something that's actually useful by being able to fully charge it and then fully discharge it, then the blueprints are available on my Patreon. Links are always down in the description below. I'm very, very proud that I've taken the time to make sure this system works and tested it, and now we have 900 pipes. means you can fill this very rapidly should you need to, and then also empty it very rapidly should you need to. Also means that, yes, this system over here, I'm definitely thinking about retrofitting this to a storage, thermal storage, set to high pressure steam, because again, that's an awful lot of storage. You know, it's the same technical amount of storage. It's still going to be 10 months worth of storage, but it means rather than me having workers and maintenance running things that are probably never actually running unless I am fully backed up in everything and everything's being burnt off at the same time, I just have one of these. And I'm going to have one of these just sitting there, just maintaining this system, which just seems a little bit less wasteful to me. Anyway, with all that said and done, I'm going to leave this episode here. This was an awful lot to get through, but I really was... I took some time. I took some time between episodes to make sure I could get this working, and it was been through testing, and it works great, and I'm very proud of it. Anyway, with all that said and done, I'm going to call this video here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed turning the most useless thing in the game into something actually useful and functional now. Anyway, with all that said and done, like I said, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you in the very next video. Bye.